Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Firdausia. Now, I want to explain about morphology. And the second one is the definition of morphology. Morphology is a branch of linguistics that investigates the intricacies of the internal structure of words and the effect of change in that structure on the meaning and class of words. So, morphology is the word structure of a language or the branch of linguistics that studies that word structure of a language. As part of language, morphology is a concern with variation in word form and intuitive impressions of users or prospective language users on the characteristic of the form and its correlation to the characteristic of the meaning of word. It's a communicative perspective, namely the creation, production, and understanding or perception of word in language use. And then morphology divided into two. The second one is inflectional morphology and the second derivational morphology. Inflectional morphology seeks to study and explain how words in a language have different forms of manifestations caused by factors of the grammatical context in which they are used. As a word produce different forms such as writers, writing, and written, including word and writer. In fact, we do not get new words, but only get grammatically different form of the same word. And then derivational morphology seeks to study and explain how in a language new words are created by taking advantage of pre-existing word or lexeme. As an illustration, the English word reward under word. Okay, the next is purpose of morphology. Number one is analyze and describe the words languages in a precise and in-depth. Number two, linguists aim to find typology of languages based on some of its dimension and aims to provide an explanation of all matters related to the typology of that language. Number three, reveal the nature of natural language system, which in turn can reveal the natural human user. And then last, number four, morphology can be used to gain a better insight into how linguistic rules function in the production and perception of language and how linguistic knowledge is mentally respected both psychologically and historically. Okay, and next is function of morphology. Function morphology provides a systematic way to increase the number of word in a language. According to Point, the creation of new word was done because language users need a new expression tool for a new concept or object. So, inflectionally, morphology is said to have the function of creating various forms of a particular lexeme, including creating a lexeme from correct according to the specific context. An object of morphology as a branch of linguistics. As already explained, morphology has an object of study, which is the word. Its main purpose to explain how the words in a language are created or changed in shape by speakers and how they use the word. Okay, and the last is morphology between other fields. What is the relationship morphology and other fields? Okay, number one is morphology and lexicon. Vocabulary, the component of a language that contains all the information about the meaning and use of word in a language. The wealth of word that a language has. So the lexicons as a container of words that have been formed in morphology, and then will be reviewed again related to information on how the meaning and where. And number two is morphology and phonology. What is the phonology? Do you know? Morphology is the study of language that attempts to study the sound of speech products by the human speech apparatus. The sounds of speech that is meant is the formation of phonemes that are integrated into a word. So, relationship of morphology to phonology is given the term morphophonemics. Morphophonemics is the study of change in sounds or phoneme as a result of morphological process, both affixations, reduplication, and compositions. And the last is syntax. Syntax and morphology, or morphology and syntax. Syntax is the science of principles and rules for constructing sentence in natural language. Syntax, together with morphology, is part of the grammatical or grammatical subsystem. Okay, maybe enough for me. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.